Okay, here we are looking at your assignment for abnormal psychology. This is an interesting assignment, and from the past times that I've done this, I've had students who have enjoyed it because of the nature of it. All right, the main objective is to bust a myth. There are lots of myths about mental health and psychological disorders. And now a myth is basically, not an accurate representation of people or of circumstances when people have certain disorders. And now I've given you a list of some samples in your assignment sheet, so please look that over. That's step one. Now its due date is October 14th at 5 p.m. It gets posted in a journal that will be provided in the week folder for October 14th. You'll see a journal entry location in that week, and by 5 o'clock. Now, earlier is certainly okay, and make sure it's a PDF format. Now, if you're not quite sure how to do that, remember I posted in week 1 a video on how to make a PDF document. It's not particularly hard. It is just a matter of the way that you save your document, and it makes it more reliably visible for me to read and to be able to mark it. So the first thing is find a myth. Now, I've given you some examples of what the myths could be. Now, you may have another myth of your own. You may have read in the news about different things that to you are a myth. So select the myth and describe it briefly. What is the myth? How does it play out in today's society, or how does it affect the people who are diagnosed with that condition? The second part of the assignment is to interrogate the claim and to develop a counter argument. So interrogating the claim just means break it down. What makes it a myth? Why is it inaccurate? And then you're developing your counter argument is based on the resources that you will find. Now, for the assignment, you really just need 2 credible, authoritative sources. So your counter argument would be, well, what is a more accurate representation of people and or the disorder, and to represent that condition more accurately? Now pay attention to the marking system. There's 6 marks for the myth, and telling me a bit about what makes it a myth or what the myth is. There's 15 marks for the interrogation of the claim and the counter argument. And so you'll see in the sample here that I've got it down, and you'll need to come up with 3 of them. So there's 5 marks for each one. Then develop a thesis. Now it's just, I'll give you a little bit of an example of how that will look, of what the format should be. But you're basically sort of stating to me in a thesis is, what is your intention about this busting a myth? And use that format essentially. And there's 5 marks for that. So it may need a little wordsmithing, but spend a little time to make sure that's clear. And then the last thing is, make sure you attach 2 PDF documents of your sources so I can read the sources. Now, I've made a video on using the library services. You'll find that also in week 1. Watch that one, and it will give you some tips about how to make sure that the sources you find are credible and how to save it as a PDF. Now, if you've got any questions about how to use the library services online to get those sources, please go down to the library and ask for the assistants and say that you need to find them in PDF formats. So then what you're going to post in your journal is going to be the PDF of your outline, 2 pages, and the 2 PDFs of your sources so that I can read those. And any feedback that I can offer you, I will do so. I will mark them, and you'll have your grades within that 2-week period. Now that's the first part of the assignment. The second part is where students have often said, this is kind of fun. And this is where I want you to create a video. Now in your document, you see I've listed 2 ways that you can create a screencasting video. Now essentially a screencasting video is not unlike some of the videos that I've made for you, and I will be making for you, where what you're going to see is the screen of my keynote presentations. You might use PowerPoint, and your voice speaking over top of that screen, and maybe some of the actions that you can do in PowerPoint or in Keynote, as you've seen that I've done. You create one of those yourself. I want it to be between 5 and 8 minutes long. Make sure you save it as an MP4 or an MOV. document. Now I will show you how to do that. If you're using Jing as one of the examples here, if you go and follow the instructions as I will show you in the video and create a screencast account, when you save your Jing video to Screencast, then you can share that video with me in the same way that you would share a video from YouTube. It produces a URL and you can copy and paste that URL and put it in your journal. I can click on it and go to your screencast and see your video. All of those are reasonable ways of doing it. What I want you to avoid doing is using some software or some means of creating a video in a format that I don't have the software to open it with. I can't view it, I can't mark it. So make sure you, if you've got questions, start early enough that when you ask me the questions, I can meet with you any Friday and I'll help you go through how to use Jing or how to use Screenomatic. If you've got another software you want to use, let me know what it is and I'll help you understand how to put that into a format that will be acceptable for me and be able to view it. So check the rubrics for both the outline and for the video to see where you can generate the most bang for your buck. In the outline, it's really about the evidence that you can provide, the counter argument that you can develop, the interrogation of the claim. There's where the bulk of the marks are. In the video, the bulk of the marks are being able to get that content that you've generated in your outline and put it into a presentation. Treat it like you're talking to people who believe in the myth and you want to convince them that the myth is wrong. So what evidence would you need to show them that that myth is not right? And put it in, create graphics in your background that in your PowerPoint or Keynote. If you're a PC user, it would probably be PowerPoint. If you're a Mac user, you may be using Keynote. You could put other graphics in the background to sort of augment. Try not to have a lot of writing in your video. More pictures, graphics, even video. Just don't have your video be a video of another video. Snippets is fine. Little 10, 15-second snippets to help make a point. Okay? Good luck with this. It's a lot of fun. If you don't know that something's a myth, it's a good opportunity to explore how it might be a myth. And like I said, you'll see in the document some examples of myths. Please get started early on things. Don't leave it to the last minute. When you email me on the 13th saying, I'm not quite sure what I need to do, that's really late when it has to be in on the next day. The same with the video. If you're asking me, the video is due on November 24th, I believe it is. I don't have it written down. Yeah, November 24th at 5 o'clock. So if you're emailing me on the 23rd or 22nd about I'm not quite sure how to make a video, you've left it very late and it's awful hard for me to help you. Please start early, make an attempt at it so when you ask me for some help, I know how I can help you better. Okay? The key about this is exploring information, get facts. And that's why the library resources are a good place to get credible, reliable, and authoritative sources. All right, everybody. Good luck with this, and I look forward to watching your videos and reading your outlines about what you're interested in terms of busting a myth. Bye now.